So we usually wait a few minutes just to let people trickle in. It's a little early. We usually have our this brown bag at noon, but appreciate you taking the time to talk whatever time you had. Aloha, everybody. We're gonna wait a couple minutes. Thanks, Annie. Maybe another minute here. We have a good group already. But wait, one more minute. Okay, maybe we'll start just because we are a little earlier than usual and want to respect everybody's time. Hello, everybody. I'm Kai Fox, Aquaculture Extension Specialist with Hawaii Sea Grant. This is another um, Hawaii Aquaculture Collaborative Brown Bag. Today we are joined by Kristen Kiryu, who's the Farm Programs Chief at USDA Farm Service Agency. She's going to be talking about programs that are available for aquaculture producers, including some disaster relief. So thank you very much, Kristen. Please take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Kai. Morning, everybody. Thank you all for joining and inviting Jen and I to present at your roundtable today. So I'll be going through my slides and feel free to, drop questions in the chat. I can answer it there or at the end of the presentation. My name is Kristen Kiryu. I'm the Farm Programs Chief. I oversee Hawaii and Pacific Basin, so all of the county offices that we have in Hawaii, Guam, and American Samoa. Um, there are little introduction on FSA programs. We are a federal agency. We're part of the USDA division in the USDA. We have two separate divisions within FSA that we like to kind of separate things out by farm programs, which does the disaster assistance, the conservation programs, and ad hoc programs. And then we have the farm loans, which Jennifer will be talking about after my presentation. On the disaster assistance side, it is very much farm bill driven. So a lot of the programs that are available on our farm program side is based off of the farm bill. Majority of all our programs are all for commercial farmers and ranchers. So you have to be commercial, you have to be selling your product, your crop, right? We do not have programs for subsistence farmers, ranchers, but I think we're flexible as we can be for most of our programs. Before I kind of get into the actual details of the programs and what we have available, I kind of wanted to put a plug out there and a reminder, to all producers, to take photos and document. I think it's super, super, super important. And a lot of our programs actually require documentation from producers in order to be eligible and sign up for our program. So take photos before the event happens and after. So immediately after the disaster occurs, take photos, send those in to us, document your inventory, and your production if you can immediately before the event and then immediately after the disaster event. We have three main program areas under the farm program side of FSA, and I kind of like to divvy them out into the crop and livestock disaster assistance, the conservation programs, and then our ad hoc and other programs. Today, I'll just be sharing the programs that are applicable to the aquaculture producers. So, we have a lot more programs available, but it's for ranchers or crop producers, annual crop producers, or fruit tree producers. Um, Under the crop and livestock disaster program side, we have two main programs that are applicable to aquaculture producers, and they provide relief for losses due to natural disasters. So we have the Non-Insured Crop Disaster Assistance Program, or NAP, and then we have the Emergency Livestock Assistance Program, ELAP. I'll go into each one in a little bit more detail. So our NAP program is an insurance product. You have to sign up before the crop year starts, and then you have coverage throughout the crop year, right? So it is something that you got to think about before and not after a disaster. So something that's out there now for aquaculture producers. Most aquaculture types are eligible. There's a lot of pre-eligibility work that we'll have to work with each individual operation. So it is very case by case. I'd encourage all of you to come reach out to our offices and start that conversation of saying, hey, here's my operation, here's what I got going on, here's what I produce. Or, is that something that would be eligible? We probably have to work with you and ask you for prices. Hey, what's your normal like production rate and things like that to help you figure out, what your baseline would be. But for the most part, most aquaculture is eligible. And we would be paying for your losses due to natural disasters again. So all of our disaster programs are natural disaster based. So hurricanes, flooding, drought, things like that. The aquaculture crop year for NAP is actually following the federal government fiscal year. So that'll be October 1st to September 30th, which means that you would have to sign up for coverage before September 30th so that you have coverage for the ensuing crop year, right? There is a $350 service fee per crop, but if you are historically underserved, so if you're socially disadvantaged, limited resource, or beginning farmer rancher, you can get basic catastrophic level coverage for free. So you don't even have to pay a $350 service fee. There's two options with NAP coverage. You can get the basic 50-55, so that means you have to have 50% loss in order to qualify for a payment. Or you can do buy up. So we go up to 6,100. So 65% would mean that you have to have a 35% loss in order to get payment, and then you get 100% of the price. Under basic, there's no premium, so you would just pay the service fee, or you could get it for free, right? If you fall under the historically underserved. So you could probably qualify for NAP for free if you're at the basic level and you're, socially disadvantaged or limited resource or beginning farmer. On the buy-up end, there is a premium. So if you decide to have a higher coverage level, you're gonna have to pay a premium. It's going to be based on the max dollar value that you select at the time of application. So before September 30th, you would be in charge, and we would work with you on what does that look like? What does it mean? If I choose this dollar amount, what does my premium look like? We can work with you on that and give you estimates. The payment limitation difference. So in a single year, if you have basic coverage, you can earn up to $125,000. If you purchase the buy-up, you can go up to $300,000. So again, this is an insurance product, so something to think ahead for next year, right? So if you're interested in it, contact our offices. We can get you signed up for 2027 NAP, which would start October 1st. ELAP, so the Emergency Livestock Assistance Program. This one, you don't have to apply ahead of time. You would just call our FSA office as soon as you notice a loss. We will ask you for documentation, but this program pays for farm-raised fish only and feed losses. So any fish death and feed losses due to an eligible natural disaster. Examples would be like for the flooding, the Kona Low. Say you had fish feed in your garage and it got flooded out and it's destroyed. We would be able to cover a portion of that feed cost on that. Or if some of your fish died because the pH in the water got thrown off because of the flooding or something like that. Those are the types of things that we would be able to cover under ELAP. The 2026 losses, so anything from the Kona low storm, the deadline is not until March 1st, 2027. So you have the entire year to report those losses to us. But we do encourage everybody to, report their losses ASAP, right? If you have a loss, send us your pictures, send us your production, your inventory, things like that, as soon as possible so that we can continue to service you timely. And we want to get, payments out to people quickly. It is a case by case thing, so each county takes care of their own county, and I have all that contact information later on. But I think the pictures are what's most important. The pictures and the documentation for the inventory record and things like that. It's going to be really important for the disaster programs to sort of prove your losses, right? To show that you actually had these fish and or feed, and then whatnot. Under the second bucket of programs, we have conservation programs. We have the Emergency Conservation Program, or ECP. I think this is one of the biggest ones that we got going on right now. We have a lot of inquiries for this program. The sign up for the Kona low storms is open until June 1st, but I didn't want to put it on the slide, but we are working on an extension to get it extended out to July 31st. So we will likely get that extension approved, and the ECP will be open for 2 more months, 60 more days. This program is a cost share program, so producers would have to front the money to fix their infrastructure, and then we will pay them a percentage back. But we can do a 25% advance payment. So we're paying to restore your farmland back to pre-disaster conditions, right? So we can cover things like debris removal or minor grading and shaping if you had major flooding and you had debris come into your aquaculture areas. We could help pay to remove all of those things. We do fence replacement and repair, and then we also do conservation structure replacement. So this program, again, I said is cost share. So this one, we're paying you to replace what was there essentially. So you'll front the cost and then we will pay you back based on what you're approved. And again, we can do a 25% of the approval amount upfront to help get the project started, right? Give you some capital upfront. Under the ad hoc or other programs, I wanted to put a plug in there for our reimbursement transportation cost program because I think, or RTCP, which I think, would help a lot of aquaculture producers with transportation costs. So it helps offset transportation costs of eligible expenses and inputs to produce your ag commodity. We expect sign up for 2026 to open in July. It normally runs from July through September. And then we ask that all of your documentation be turned in by November, early November. So we'll be making that announcement shortly, but we essentially pay you a portion for all of your inputs for your operation, right? So your feed, your tanks, your anything to do with your operation, we pay a percentage of it because there's an extra transportation cost built into the total cost, right? But again, there is a max payment. All of our programs have a max payment, well, except for ELAP. Actually, I forgot to put that in. ELAP doesn't have a payment limitation, so we can pay a lot of money under ELAP. RTCP has a really small cap, 8,000, because we have to share the money with Alaska and Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, right? The non-continental U.S. States all are eligible for RTCP. So the max payment is 8,000, and then likely there might be an actual factor. So depending on how much people apply, it might actually be less than 8,000. But it's a good one, for people to apply and turn in receipts to get some repayment. So I wanted to put in a slide there on how hard is it, right? How hard is it to come into our office and apply for our programs? It's really not that bad. Every single producer that wants to participate in any of our programs needs to apply and meet basic eligibility and farm record requirements. So by basic eligibility, it's completing forms, right? We're going to take your name, your address, your tax ID number, your contact information, email, phone numbers, things like that. And then in addition to that, I listed those other forms. So it's really one, the 2047, 1026, 941, 902, and the 860. So you're really talking about maybe 4 or 5 forms total. And they're very short. A lot of it is putting name, address, multiple times, right? And answering a few questions about your operation. If you are a entity, then we will ask the entity to fill out the paperwork and every member down to the fourth level. So if you have a really big entity with multiple embedded entities, sometimes the eligibility paperwork takes a really long time. But we're here to help and help you work through it with your members as well if you have a big entity. Land documentation is also a big one. So we require land documentation. So we're going to need proof to show that you have control of the property where your aquaculture operation is, right? Lease documents, deeds. If you have the TMK, you can give that. If you own it, we can look it up on the real property tax site. But basically, we need something in writing to show proof that you're allowed to be there and you're allowed to grow do aquaculture there. I want to just put in this slide real quick, some payment facts just to throw it out there. This obviously isn't just for aquaculture producers, but we have a multitude of disaster programs. And so I just wanted to give everybody just kind of a roundabout base of how much millions we put out per year to our ag producers, our ag producers, meaning, aquaculture, honeybees, livestock, crop producers, all the different avenues of agriculture. And then my second to the last slide, I did put in there, we do email news releases. So anytime a program opens up or we have some kind of important information we have to share with people, we do email newsletters. So I encourage everybody to go to our website there, scroll to the very bottom right corner, and then you can enter in your email address. You can press subscribe, and then you can drill down to the states that you're interested in getting the updates about. So we have a Hawaii Pacific Basin section that you can go and click which county you belong to and then sign up for our e-newsletter. And then you'll get a monthly e-newsletter in addition to our email news releases. So like when we open ECP, if we extend the deadline, you'll get an email saying, hey, that deadline's been extended, or, these are all the program opportunities that are out there. My last slide, I wanted to put in the information for all of our county office contacts. So on the farm program side, statewide, we only have 6 people actually working the farm programs side. So those are the contacts there for each of the islands. I'm also available. I'm at the state office level, so I can definitely get you the contacts as well. So if you guys have any questions or just want to start talking about your operation and seeing what programs you could potentially be eligible for, I just encourage everybody to call our offices. We want to help. We're here to help. And yeah, I think we look forward to hearing from some of you. Thanks, Kai. Anybody got questions for me?
Thanks, Kristen. Yeah, any questions? Thanks for that slide about the totals given out. That's a lot of money you guys give out. Great. And Jennifer, I apologize for not introducing you to that. Are you giving a separate talk?
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay.
No worries. I joined right before the deadline. I was in another meeting and I was trying to get on this one sooner. Sorry, I apologize for that.
Nope.
But yes, I do have a couple of slides to go through, and if
Uh,
I think we presented to your group last year, I believe.
yes.
Oh, you have a question.
No, no, sorry. I just made you co-host as well.
Oh, okay.
But just wanted to make maybe we can circle back one more time when you're done and just get questions for both of you.
Okay.
If we can just move forward.
Yeah, no
Move forward.
worries. No. Try to put the right screen. I believe it's this one. Oh, did I share the right screen? No. Right?
Yes.
Can you see
Yes.
my screen show?
Looks good.
Okay. Sorry, just checking. Okay. So I'm presenting today for the farm loan program portion of the Farm Service Agency, but I specifically work in Hawaii County, and I'm also the manager for American Samoa for our farm loan program there. So I'm gonna give you the basic information, and then I'll have contacts for every office at the end. Okay. So we have direct and guaranteed loans. Our direct loans we run out of our offices. We're basically the bank. The Farm Service Agency and the United States Department of Agriculture is the bank. And then we have guaranteed loans where if you exceed our loan limit or you're very financially strong and stable and maybe you don't need our program, then you can get a guaranteed loan through a commercial lender who gets the backing from the Farm Service Agency through that program. Discuss that. And both programs have operating and ownership loans, and the difference is going to be in the rate as well as the loan limit for the two different programs. So our operating loan, we can use it to purchase operating expenses, let's say needing machinery and equipment, or you started your operation on credit cards and you were thinking that you were going to be able to pay that off within the 18-month to 24-month 0% fee, but maybe that's not working out for you right now and you need to refinance that credit card debt for your operation. We can look at maybe doing something like that for our operating. And then I put the rate on there for May. Our rate does fluctuate each month, but our applicants get a fixed rate. It's the lowest of two rates at the time of approval or the time of closing. And then we also help purchase land or do capital improvements. So if you needed a shed, you needed a certified kitchen, something like that, we can do construction, but we can also help you buy the land in order to do your startup operation on it. And there is no down payment. We do 100% financing. Our loan term is 40 years. And then our interest rate is 5.75 for May, but because it's Hawaii, depending on where you're buying, that land purchase might be over our loan limit of $600,000. And so we do joint financing where we kind of provide your down payment for a commercial lender. So if you can get a loan with another lender, American Ag Credit, First Financial, American Farm Mortgage, any other ag bank, then FSA can come in and be your down payment for that 30% that they need. And then the down payment rate is at 3.75. It's always 2% less than our direct rate. We do look at everything. So sometimes I know the paperwork can seem daunting, but we are here to help you. And we do look at all of your information. So we look at your farm and your personal to figure out whether or not you can afford the loan payment. And also the operation is able to cover itself because we are here to help commercial farmers and ranchers. So if it's more of a hobby farm, then that might not be a good fit for us. And we have worked with other lenders on the island and in the state, or maybe we can refer you there. Or if you're not producing 50% of the production that is in your sales or that you're turning into value-added products, then maybe we can connect you with another lender because our program really is set up to help somebody who's producing at least 50% and is a commercial farmer or rancher. And maybe they're starting up this year, but they're going to be in full production in year 2, 3, or 4. And then we would also look at that projection for that year as well. And then, as I mentioned, please talk to us because we want to help you out. We want to know what you want to do and whether or not our program is a good fit for you. We can also run through the eligibility requirements for the program. And basically, those are the kind of rules and regulations that we have to follow as part of our program. and then making sure that it cash flows. So maybe your other job is covering for the operation for the first year, but maybe in year 2 or 3, the farm can cover itself. And then we are looking at all of that, as well as we have very specific environmental regulations that we have to follow when we're doing development and construction and moving the dirt, essentially. And we try to get an approval within 30 to 60 days. Okay, just kind of just a slide on reminding you that we do look at your production and your yield. We look at your historicals. We discuss maybe what that research is on if you're doing a startup operation. And then we want you to contact us so that we can go ahead and help you with the process, figure out if FSA's farm loan program is a good fit for you, or if maybe we can help you connect up with another lender that might be better. And then just I threw in the snippet for our portfolio for Hawaii County. This is about how much we have lent over the years as of March 31st. And when I looked at the state lending through the end of March 31st, we have lent about $4 million statewide since October, well, November, when we came back from furlough for the past few months. But this way you kind of know we are increasing our portfolio, especially for Hawaii County every year. And we're trying to make sure we hit all the commodities. A large portion of our portfolio is coffee, since we did help a lot of the lessees purchase their fee simple property in 2022 in Pahala. So our portfolio had a big increase then. But we do support all sorts of food and products. So we're here to help. And then here is our Hawaii County information. And we do service the Kona side of the island as well. Our headquarters really is in Hilo, but and then I also have contacts for Honolulu and Kauai and Maui County. And we also have a slide on resources for everyone. So we work with CTAR, SBDC, the Kohala Center, Ho'ola Farms to kind of help everyone get connected in some way. And then that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. And, maybe we'll just open it up or anybody has questions for Jennifer or Kristen at this point. You folks are good. You gave all the information. Don't have any questions. You're really good. Yeah, I guess if nobody has questions, again, we have this. Maybe last chance. Anybody have any questions? Really appreciate your time. We're gonna, like I said, we're recording obviously, and we'll be posting this on our actions page for anybody that wants to look at the presentations again. I learned a lot. Thank you. Um, Last chance. Anybody have questions? Before lunch. Nobody's had lunch yet. Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you both. Really appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Kai. Thank you, everybody.
Yes. Bye.